I'd been looking for the journals, the original journals of Laperouse for some years. The National Archives in France, such like. We had Bougainville and so forth. And I got once a reply saying, "I'm sorry, they must have been mislaid as an idea. We're not even sure they were ever returned to the files, to the stores, when the edition of the narrative, which is not the same as this, of 1805 or 10 was written. It was troubled times. And I'd completed 3-4 months in Paris, and some other Laperousist who was working on the, which is now completed a long time ago, he was working on the cost and requirements, bills and so on of an expedition for this, and what was the Laperouse ship carrying and where she got it, and it was quite interesting. And just as I was about to leave, she contacted me and said, "Look, I think I've found them. I photocopied a couple of pages, but they're among a box of bills and receipts and shoved in the corner, and it's the sort of thing I've been digging through, but, and looking at it, you knew what it was, date and winds and weather reports." So there it was, and I sort of more or less ran round to the National Archives in Paris and said, "Yeah, I want all that." And I did this with illustrations. I left the illustrations to the publishers, technical information to the naval fellow, who was an admiral, and it came out. And then, when that had been done, I did the English translation for the Hackwood Society.
So how did you feel when you actually saw those for the first time?
Hmm?
How did you feel when you saw those for the first time?
Like when you lost your wallet.
I'm sure it's more than losing a wallet. For someone who studied French navigators.
My deep regret is that I never kept a letter saying, "No, I'm sorry. We don't have it in our files. It must have been possibly not properly returned after the edition of the narrative by during the days of the war." Sorry about that. I would have loved to have included that. Well, if you framed it. But that's the document. But they're fairly hefty.
So you published those from the original?
That's what a daily record is. When a ship's sailing or a ship is in port or whatever.
Now, obviously we don't have the ship's log, but that's a journal from all the material that was sent back to France. Is that correct?
Well, this is what we don't have naturally is the journal was the final stage of the journey. So none of that has survived. This is, for instance, the instructions and handed to him in all the various documents concerning the voyage of discovery, as requested by the King, under your command of Mr. Laperouse, with 2 words. Captain Blubber issued at Brest as his final instruction, and that was a text. And so when we found the full instruction, we found as well the daily log, and this is what really matters, because it's not you do have a fair amount of spare time on the ship that's sailing around, and it gives you a great deal of information about what's going on the ship.
And we still have. It's so fortunate that Laperouse dispatched his Barthélemy de Lesseps from Siberia with his journal and dispatches, and that we also have the additional dispatches from Botany Bay. So we have a remarkable journal, a narrative that could so easily have been entirely lost. So he's certainly part of the great literature of 18th century exploration.